Hi, I'm Dan Lenard, the home studio master. Gabby asked me to talk to you about starting your home voiceover studio. If you're going to start creating your home voiceover studio, or have already taken the plunge, you probably already know, or are going to find out, it's a complicated journey with twists and turns. Of course, most of those twists are created by misinformation, disinformation, mythology, and idiots that think they know it all. First, you have to understand this. All the stuff we use to record our voice was designed to record music. For the most part, all those microphones and preamps and processors and unbelievably complicated multi-track recording programs were never designed for doing what we, as voice actors, do. The manufacturers of all this audio candy aren't thinking about our specific needs and us when they come up with all this stuff. They don't even see us as a market. So when you decide it's time to do it at home, here are some very important tips to save you an arm, a leg, and your life savings. I'm probably going to insult some very nice people here. There are some people out there who are not there to help you, or really don't know how, but say they can. Let's start off with the guys at the local big retail music store or their online outlets. They only have one thing in mind: sell you the most expensive thing. They really don't understand the idea of a home voiceover studio. They know how to sell you the right mic to get your screaming, singing voice over the mix of a chainsaw rock band, or a diva like Celine Dion over a 20-piece. They know how to muffle a drum kit. However, they've not been educated on what happens when you put a Neumann U87 into a closet in a noisy apartment. Never walk into one of these places without knowing what you want to buy first. Don't ever walk into one of these stores and say, "I'm building a home voiceover studio. What do I need?" Who's next? Well-educated, experienced recording studio engineers and owners of big professional studios. They have little interest in having anyone succeed at home with a home studio. Why should they? They were doing just fine charging an arm and a leg for clients to come and record their spots, corporate presentations, or phone prompts. If they can roll some boulders in the road to stop you from doing it cheaper, they will. Are they mean, evil people? Of course not. They're protecting themselves from the ravages of time and progress. They're going to tell you to get Pro Tools because it's the industry standard to them and for what they do. I hear this scenario over and over and over and over. So, unless it's your spouse, ignore their advice. Or better yet, if you're doing a session at their studio, don't even think about telling them that you want to build a home studio. Think about it. Okay, here's another crew that's even more dangerous to a home studio project. Audio engineers that work for a sound reinforcement company. Who are these guys? Well, they set up high-powered PA systems for rock bands or music systems in offices and banquet halls. Wonderful, hard-working people. However, they haven't a clue what voiceover involves. They don't understand the uniqueness of a home voiceover studio environment. If I hear someone tell me they've got their audio guy, usually one of these guys, coming over to get their studio set up, I'm going to scream. They're going to recommend stuff you don't need. Yeah, they know how to plug in a mic, set up a mic stand, understand how a mixer works, which you also don't need, by the way. Look, if you're building a home studio, and I use the word building somewhat tongue-in-cheek, don't go hog wild. Don't get what I call studio envy. You know, you've been to big commercial studios. They have nice couches and big angled windows and racks of equipment, big mic stands, and perfectly accessorized sound dampening tiles. If you're creating a home voiceover recording space, that's not what you're looking to compare with. I know a lot of people that have taken a sledgehammer to their family room wall and built a whole new wing to their house just to build their dream studio. Usually it ends up as an expensive nightmare instead. A home voiceover recording studio is a very new concept. With all the amazing technology we have today, it's much simpler. What used to be a $250,000 production facility is now a $500 laptop, a fairly good microphone, and some fairly simple software and acoustics. It's a much simpler process now, and it requires minimal equipment to properly record. That doesn't mean it's easy. You have to learn some basics, but the basics are different than what many think they are. And your challenge is to separate the wheat from the chaff. Talking to people you trust is vital. Listening to voiceover professionals who are successful and willing to share their knowledge and experience with recording techniques and equipment is vital. For a private consultation on how to get up and running properly with your home studio, go to homestudiomaster.com. I'm Dan Lenard.